Hey guys, welcome back to Daily Insomnia. This is episode 200. 200? Or 200. This is official 200, yeah.
Wow.
I was going to buy balloons and do the whole thing, but I was like, it's not in the budget.
It's a bicentennial.
Yeah.
It's not in the budget. Wow.
Yeah,
we're 200
Dude, I've
episodes.
seen the upstairs. It's in the budget.
Well,
No mames.
The only way you can afford upstairs is by having a budget. Yeah.
But in the studios today, the one and only Marcos Lara, a.k.a. Freaky, one of the, Rockford's biggest promoters in comedy.
The
Right?
go-to
Don't
guy.
wait, yeah.
The go-to guy in
The
Rockford.
go-to guy, yeah, the plug.
The plug.
I try.
But welcome, man. Hey, we're happy to have you in today, man.
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, man. Like I said, we've heard about you for some time now. Everybody's mentioned, Marcos from Marco, or is it Marcos?
Marcos.
Marcos, yeah.
It's been like 2 years that we heard his name, right? It's been 2 years?
Oh yeah, because we had
it's been
like
2 years.
Dude, when you got a
His
picture
name's
of
out.
Zapatista behind you, do you even have to ask if it's Marcos?
well, I'm like maybe he's one of those fancy Mexicans.
Yeah,
Like it's Marco, not Marcos. Yeah. So I gotta be like, hey, I gotta watch what I'm saying. But no, man, thanks for coming, dude. We appreciate it a lot, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stand up in Rockford. I mean, like, how did that come about?
Actually, it's funny you should mention that. There was another gentleman with whom I went to high school, and I saw that he was doing stand-up comedy, and I'm like, in the back of your mind, ego kicks in. You're like, I could do that.
Yeah.
And so I see him at the grocery store. I'm like, dude, I heard you're doing stand-up comedy. He's like, yeah. I was like, do you need an opener? And he's like, do you do comedy? I said,
Like I do now.
Yeah. So I mean, normally like most people's first set is like 3 to 5 minutes. My first set I think was like, I can't remember, it was like 12 or 20, somewhere in that ballpark.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
But I mean, I had like all these jokes in the back of my head and wrote them out. Just, practiced my set diligently and then hit the stage. And my first 2 shows were with him, and similar setup there, and went great.
Yeah,
And then so that really and I got paid for my first gig.
Oh,
Which
wow.
is something that doesn't
Wow,
normally
that's
happen. It wasn't a
unicorn, bro.
lot. It was
Yeah.
$27.
Yeah,
but
no, I had to pay in order to get paid.
yeah.
I was like, oh, you want $300? There you go. There you go.
No, that's good, man. So, I mean, you just went straight to it. You just, give me 20 minutes, boss.
Yeah.
Put me in.
Yeah. It's like I didn't know enough to know what I didn't know.
And did you
Yeah.
kill? Or was
Yeah.
it, you know what?
I got
For
a
first
real
time
good.
to
I
do it.
mean, yeah, it felt like I killed. I mean,
Yeah.
I definitely didn't have anything to which to compare. I mean, the audience was laughing.
Yeah.
And then from the bug bit me, and I started going to Chicago and such, and that's when I realized, oh no, I still suck, And then it's like, and then I had to get my ego knocked out. And actually, I was very fortunate because I think, for example, I think like the first venue that I did in Chicago, and this is so dumb, but I went straight for Zanies. It's like, well, what are you
Yeah.
Google comedy clubs, and what comes up? Oh, Zanies. Okay, I don't realize this is something you work up to. And then they had the Rising Star Showcase on Monday, and I mean, Zanies is a hot room, so they're
It's
gonna
great.
laugh.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
great
the
room.
crowd is gonna laugh whatever you do.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can suck, and the crowd's still gonna laugh.
That's one thing I've noticed. I've noticed when it comes to stand up that if you go to a comedy club, right, people are there to laugh. Officially,
Yes.
they are officially there to laugh, and they want to laugh, and the whole process is a lot smoother. But when you do shows like at a bar, at a restaurant,
You try to
Like
get
this.
that
Yeah.
comedy feeling
yeah,
in there.
it's not the same.
It struggles.
Yeah, no matter what you do, you can't build that atmosphere where people want to laugh. Like they're
You
like, well,
can, you can,
you can, but it's not
yeah.
the same. It's
Yeah.
I feel like it's much easier to get a laugh at a Zanies, at a
Yes,
Laugh Factory,
yeah.
than it would be with the same joke, right? Let's say same joke that it would be at a restaurant or at a bar.
But you
You
got
know?
to think about this. It's years of just like, all right, I know this one area. That's what it is.
Yeah,
So people already know in the mindset.
I mean,
That's how I'm coming
yeah.
to it. I'm coming here to enjoy myself, have a good time, and laugh.
yeah,
I mean, I've done some bar shows, some restaurants. I mean, some church shows where people are there to laugh,
mm-hmm.
and it's great. And it's I mean, every bit of the same excitement and such as a comedy club. But I mean, I remember right before the pandemic, I did a retirement home in Rockford. It was
wow.
Valley View. What a great crowd! I was not expecting that, and I was like, went up like right after. I always said my feature was Dave Severson because he was like doing. He like went there to like greet them and stuff, and obviously get votes. And then right after he got done, they brought me up. And it was a great crowd, which I did not expect.
So dropping hot fire.
Yeah.
They were like, I just want to laugh one more time before I go.
Yeah, that must have been it. And with COVID right around the corner, they were right. You know?
Yeah. Time's ticking, man. You got. These are my last 5 minutes.
I hope they're all doing well. I sent them a message during the pandemic. I just I hope everyone's okay. But the lady who
nobody got back to you.
What's that? I didn't hear back.
You're too late.
Oh, we got a new batch.
I think the lady who booked me had retired, so my contact there, I believe, like either retired.
I'm out of here, dude.
Yeah. Perfect timing on her part too.
She's like, I'm out of here, man.
Yeah.
But how does a church comedy thing for church happen?
Was it like supposed to be like clean comedy or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. And just people go to church like to laugh too. There was one case, actually, a gentleman named Robert Parr, who I performed with a lot. He was before he got into comedy, he was planning to be a pastor, and then he changed his mind, but he was still very much involved in his church, and they wound up having a comedy show out there, and the audience was great. It was like one person got offended by one of my jokes. It was like one of the most benign, most innocent jokes. It was just about. It was a joke about my little teapot, or I'm a little teapot. It was about that.
Like Disney character.
I'm a little teapot.
Oh, the song. Yeah.
But I mean, even a lot of songs have like hidden meanings though.
They all do. They all do. Like, if you ever go back and you listen to a song, you're like, oh man, it's like something that played on, like, for example, what is that one song from the 90s? Butterfly.
Oh yeah.
Oh, not Butterfly. What is it?
Come, my lady.
Hey, come, butterfly, sugar, baby. You know that song is all about sex.
Yeah.
it's literally written into it. But you're like, yeah, come here. Like, no, not that kind of come. We're talking about a whole different kind of come.
Yeah.
And it's like, what's going on?
Or London Bridge is falling down. Same thing.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah.
As a dark, I think it was during World War I, what they wrote that song, and I mean,
no. Oh, London Bridge is falling down. Oh, okay. I thought you meant like the English rock band, like London's falling. Dun, dun, dun.
No, it's different.
Or like the song, "Baby, It's Cold Outside," which is
all about,
brutally violating women.
I mean, that's one way to put it.
Well, they say the same thing about that, but the one song by Bruce Springsteen, the one song we like.
I'm on fire.
Yeah, I'm on fire. Yeah,
that is a twisted song.
Even they say they're like, oh,
well, because if he wouldn't say "little girl," then it would be okay. But the way he said, the way he says it, and I love the song.
Yeah.
But I mean,
even if you take that factor out of it, the fact that he says, "Is your daddy home? Does he do all the things that I do?"
Okay,
I sure hope your dad isn't doing all the things.
Hey, don't you ruin the song for me.
And I love Springsteen. Springsteen's got. I mean, like, there's so many albums where he has like some really twisted or just weird.
Well, I mean, that's everything,
like that.
and that's what we go back to, like what you were saying.
Well, he's from the 70s, right?
No.
Yeah, sounds like the first album came out like 74 or something. Greetings from Ashbury Park. Yeah.
He was like 80, but I guess he must have been bigger in the 80s. But he started.
But that was from Born in the USA, which came out around 84.
84, I think so.
Yeah, but if you listen to the album, was the one right after that? He followed it up with was Nebraska right? I think Nebraska was right after that, wasn't it? And
see, I'm a fan, but I'm not.
Yeah,
I know songs.
Yeah, because I mean, I know like Dancing in the Dark.
Yeah,
Dancing
in the Dark. What a great song! I mean, it's just. The lyrics are so depressing, and I feel "Dancing in the Dark" could be a song about Rockford.
What makes Rockford Dancing in the Dark?
You don't want to go. You don't want to go at dark.
Oh, okay, yeah.
No, but I mean, he's talking about. Yeah, he's basically describing a blue collar town with not a whole lot of opportunities for job advancement.
Yeah,
and just trying to make them the most of it, and just dealing with that depression that comes from just this meaningless existence.
Well, I mean, Rockford's gotten depressing within the last year or so.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's like, well, I mean, a lot of places closed down, right, to begin with.
Oh yeah,
I think it's better than it was like 15 years ago.
Oh, I mean, yeah, but I mean, like pre-2020, like they say like 2019, 2018, 2017, like those years, it was like really nice.
Especially downtown.
Especially downtown.
Booming.
Yeah. And
yeah,
now,
downtown is
yeah.
booming. But a lot of, everything else is kind of falling apart.
But now,
Yeah, I know,
when you go out of town, there's a lot of homeless. Not, I mean, not like L.A. or like Austin or something like that, right? But there's like, you drive through Rockford and like almost at every street light, there's like somebody asking for money. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, and it goes like all the way through East State Street. I mean,
Yeah.
all the way on down to like in front of, in front of Walmart and all that. But at the same time, it's so funny. People are like so terrified of the homeless. It's like, oh, these people are poor. How dare they?
No, it's not. I don't think that's the issue.
Yeah.
I mean, at least not with me. But the issue is you just like you feel. Like it's depressing to see people that are struggling through life. So you drive by them and there's like 20 cars drive by and not one person gives them $1. You know what I mean? And not that you have to. I mean, it's all in your right to do what you want with your money.
What's a real simple solution to that? Give them $1.
Yeah, but I'm saying the same. Like I'm saying this in the concept of like I can't tell you to give them $1. If I'm like if I'm driving by, I'm just gonna say like if I'm driving by and I'm in my car and 20 other cars drive by me and none of them give them $1, you're like, oh, that sucks. Poor guys. Like it's hot out there or it's cold out there.
Yeah.
In the winter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, like I said, it's just one of those things that
like anything else. Like right now, I know, like I said, a lot of business went down because of the COVID, but it's gonna be a couple years so everything goes back.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if it continues going the way it is now, I mean, it needs to start closing down again.
Yeah, no, that's the only bad.
You know what I mean? Like stand up might take a hit again for a little bit.
I mean, that is so. What we're seeing, and I'm not even going to say like, oh, because media narrative or government narrative or anything like that, but just from what we're seeing, just from the facts we're seeing where like COVID deaths are rising again, but at the same time, like we just had Lollapalooza attended by 400,000 people, and only 0.05%, 1/20% wound up contracting, COVID.
Well, definitely. I mean, a lot of factors there, right? Younger crowd. Right. Yeah. Outside sun. We do know that sun kills the COVID. Germs or virus or whatever you want to call it. I mean, so, but that's good things, though, right? I mean, that's what we want to see. We want to see a very low amount of spread. Yeah. When it comes to all those things.
But it seems like to me it seems like the vaccine is working.
It is working.
What I'm seeing,
right?
Yeah.
For the most part.
Well, we know one thing for sure. Like I work in a hospital.
Yeah.
So like I work in an ICU unit. So I was first hand when it came to the whole.
Yeah. He was on the front lines, man. Front lines.
And
that's brave.
Yeah, I mean, I was forced to. I didn't want to be there. I was like, I'm like, can a brother call in sick for the next year? I would have. Yeah. But what was I gonna say with that? The vaccine. Well, like we know the vaccine, like definitely, it works. Like all the people that we're getting now in the hospital that are dying are the ones that don't have the vaccine. Yeah. Like everybody who has the vaccine, for the most part, if they come in for something minor and they're in and out, or they're not coming in at all. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So are we 15 minutes in yet, or is like YouTube now going to slap like a COVID thing?
I don't know.
COVID banner across the bottom.
What time does it say on the track?
All right, there we go. See, we can talk about COVID. Okay.
Did we not swear?
I don't remember. I don't think so.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't think so. Yeah. No, we good.
All we did was ruin Bruce Springsteen.
Dude.
Brandon called COVID facts.
Dude, COVID facts first. I gotta say, it's one of my favorite lines from one of the songs because it is just so messed up. It's just when he's in Thunder Road, you ain't no beauty, but hey, you're all right, and that's all right with me. Yeah, it's like women are swooning to this, like, oh my gosh, Bruce, I love you.
Yeah. I mean, that's, yeah. I mean, that's the
Can you imagine saying that to a lady?
Well, when you're Bruce Springsteen, you can say whatever you want.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, at this age, man. Yeah. Screw
it. I mean, I'm like, that's, I mean, how many quotes are like that, right?
So many. So many quotes that you could bring it out of context if you want to.
Yeah. Right, yeah. Or, I mean,
no, I mean, look at the context.
Oh, yeah,
he means it. He means it. It's like,
I mean, he's been on tour for a while.
You see them all.
He's seen them all. He's seen them all.
And he's tried them all too.
Yeah. So, but let's get back to Marcos before we. I mean, we're going to speak about Springsteen for the next hour or so. How long have you been doing stand-up, man?
Well, let's see. Back, was it like in 2014, Springsteen released Cannonball. Wrecking ball. Okay, no. I've been doing it for about about 15 years now.
15
yeah, I mean, if you count, during the and. If you count the year of the pandemic, I've been doing it for about 15 years now. Just shy.
Wow.
I'm just like a few weeks shy of 15 years. Yeah.
Wow. And now, like 15 minutes, 15 minutes in, 15 years in, like how do you feel? How do you feel about it?
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. It's great. And
wouldn't change anything.
What's that?
Wouldn't change anything about it because you've been in it for 10 years, so you don't like. How can I say it? No regrets doing comedy at all.
No regrets that I'm doing comedy, but of course a whole bunch of regrets of things I wish I would have done differently. Like once again, I wish I would have worked my way up to that Zany's Rising Star showcase. Because now I'm never going to get booked for a paid spot because they just remember who I was 15 years ago. Yeah.
Really? You think?
Well, I mean, that's actually, yeah, because like then again, they got a different person for booking it now. I don't know. Maybe never mind anything it said about Zany's. Yeah. I'll submit my info again.
I don't think they're listening.
I gotta read.
No, they might because we give them some like pointers and change.
Yeah, you're right.
I'll submit my info again. I don't know.
No, it's one of those things. Like, dude, I mean, it's 15 damn years, man. You've changed. You're a different man.
Yeah.
I
I just got to convince them of that.
That's true. So let's have a recording of you. Like, I remember that guy. Plus tape. Like,
actually, this is a story I wanted to tell. Going back to that. Then the second club that I ever did in Chicago. Once again, don't know any better, just Googling stuff. And I see Tony Schofield's is looking for talent for his showcase at the legendary Jokes and Notes. I don't even realize this is the legendary Jokes and Notes.
Yeah.
So I submit for, I think I didn't even submit, I call up a number. They're like, okay, come on in, do your thing. So I go, my wife and I we were just like a few months into dating at that point. She was still living in Milwaukee, so she takes a bus out there. I pick her up. We go there, and it was, that was like right around, it was during the 2008 election. So I've got a whole set about Obama and how, the media and his opponents are treating him, and I kill. And the great part is, like, when I'm recording my set, there's this group of older ladies, and they're, like, totally just loving it. They're, like, the loudest people in that room, and they're enjoying my set. And after, Tony Schofield says to me, he's like, hey, man, comic to comic, your shit was funny. I'm like, that's awesome. Then there's a lady there named Diane Quarter, who was like pretty much like the godmother of Chicago comedy. Yeah, I think like pretty much, definitely in the South Side especially. Mm-hmm. I think everyone doing South Side doing comedy in the South Side of Chicago owes something to Diane Quarter. And she said, well, I got this open mic. You should come check it out. And I think this was like I think that might have been like my first real open mic that I went to.
Yeah.
And it's this place called a Red Pepper. And at first, they didn't want to let me in when I first arrived. They didn't want to let me in.
Was Red Pepper specifically for a comedian or for like a comedy show? Or was it like a bar?
It was a bar with a back room.
Okay.
And this back room was just jam-packed, standing room only for an open mic.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And they didn't want to let me in. And I'm like, Diane Quarter invited me. And I think she was like, he's okay, he can come in. I'm like, okay. So then...
why didn't they want to let you in?
The reason they said was because my wife was too young, because she was under 25. My girlfriend at the time, so she was, I think, like 21 or 22 at the time.
Okay.
What's the reason they gave? It wasn't many times in comedy, I've been the only Latino in the room. And so I don't know if they were like, oh, shit, this guy's just gonna mess things up or what, and they were right, because I bombed horribly, and that was my first time bombing, and I learned so much from that experience. And
what was the number one thing that you took away from that, like from bombing the first time?
Well, one thing I learned is if I'm going to talk about ethnic prejudice in this country, it's very important that I first establish my own experiences with it. Because definitely, like, for when talking to an all-black crowd, like one person said to me, like,
it was a black bar? Oh, okay.
So I remember one person in the audience, when I said something about racism, he said, what do you know about that? And it's like, I know plenty, but I didn't tell you that. It's you didn't know that and that was a good question. And so I've learned to answer that question. I've learned, I've learned to just be more versatile. And also, Reggie Reg dropped in to do a set that night. And that dude is amazing. Well, probably the best impersonator I've ever seen. And just, I mean, we talk about such an intelligent and positive force in community, in the comedy community. And just seeing how the crowd responded to him. And this crowd, we talk about going to a comedy club for a crowd that wants to laugh.
Yeah.
And like the back room of the Southside bar of a crowd that just wanted to torment some aspiring comics.
Yeah.
So when you can win them over, that's a beautiful thing. That's a great victory.
Yeah.
That's what Reggie Reg did. So it's like, okay, these are the crowds I need to learn to entertain.
Yeah.
If I can entertain these crowds that want to see you fail, then I can entertain anyone.
Yeah. Well, do you see that black rooms are the hardest ones to make laugh? Like, if you're not,
I'm saying
if you're not black.
I'm saying this room,
was
a room that wanted you to work for laughter.
Yeah.
I mean, there's once again, the thing is like with anything else. It's like we say, like with white rooms, with Latino rooms, it's they're different.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all different. I mean, it's like if you're talking about a black crowd that's young and drunk versus a black church crowd.
Yeah.
A black crowd that's that's wealthy and middle aged. I mean, then those are great crowds. I mean, that was like to me, like this is one of the best crowds. So you can you can get.
And then so you went from doing basically like doing middle acts, right? Like that was you said your first show, you were booked. You didn't get to your first open mic till your third set.
Yeah, I didn't get until like a few months in. Yeah. And then
from there, did you continue going to open mics, or were you just?
Oh yeah. I mean, to this day, I mean, still. Well, I mean, I host an open mic in Loves Park, so at least once a month I'm at an open mic. But also, I mean, I hit mics here and there, not as much as before. And I mean, unfortunately, I've been keeping busy enough that shouldn't say I don't need to. I mean, you can always benefit from it.
Yeah.
But I've been getting enough practice. Yeah, I feel I'm definitely getting into time. So, I mean, if you think about an open mic, you're getting 3 to 5 minutes. Let's say it's 5. You're getting in 5, especially if you're going to Chicago. You're getting like 4 minutes a mic.
4 minutes, probably. Yeah.
If I get booked to do like, let's say, 3 1-hour sets in a week, that right there, that's 180 minutes. So I mean, I would have had to do like 45. Chicago open mics to get that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
To get in that time.
Yeah. So what is the process like when it comes to like doing these shows like at random places like you do the restaurant, you do the bars, you do the underground. Like what is that whole process? Do you call the venue? Do you call it like the restaurant, the venue?
I used to cold call them. Now I just go in. A lot of it's just about building relationships. Yeah. I mean, it's a customer's with producing shows. It's a customer service job.
Yeah. So how do you go through it? Like, what's the process of it? Like, you come in, you're like, hey, can I talk to the manager?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, anywhere and everywhere I go that either has a stage or that has a crowd, I got like a whole pile of resumes in my car, and I'm like, here.
Yeah.
I do stand-up comedy. I perform. I produce shows, and I've worked with comics from all over the place. Like for example, in December, I've got Vanessa Fraction from Def Comedy Jam, and Raven's House is coming out to headline at the West Side Showroom, and I could not be more excited because she's on my Mount Rushmore of comedy.
Oh, really? Yeah. What's her name?
Vanessa Fraction.
Name something she's been in. Like, has she been in a TV show, a movie, or anything like that?
Well, HBO's Def Comedy Jam.
Okay.
That's probably like her
so
biggest,
she's strictly stand up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, she also writes now for she writes for Raven's House on Disney Channel.
Oh, Raven.
It's a sitcom, with Raven Simone.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Raven's House or That's So Raven.
That's what. Yeah, but it's a new version.
That's So Raven was the old.
Okay, really?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
See, I thought you were talking about that,
Yeah,
but I was
yeah.
like,
I heard
is
ratings.
it-
I was like,
yeah, but I'm like, isn't it called That's So Raven? Yeah, see, but that's a new,
That's
new
dope.
updated version of it, right?
Honestly, I haven't watched it, but
Yeah, but she's a writer on there.
yeah, she's
Oh,
a
that's
writer
awesome.
on there, yeah.
dope.
Yeah.
That's dope.
And she is just such a great comic.
Mm-hmm. So is that so? You book them right to the show. Do you like hit them up on Instagram, or how do you get their information that you're able to get them on the show?
Well, actually, Vanessa, I'm trying to remember when I first met Vanessa. I think I was doing Tanisha Rice's room in Harvey, Illinois.
Okay.
I did Club Karma, and Vanessa was headlining, and I was the opener, and that's how I met her. And man, she's just such an amazing performer, and I brought her out to a Green Fire, and she absolutely killed. And what I love, I'll never forget that performance, because I remember at first, Green Fire was definitely a very, conservative, upscale and conservative,
Yes,
and
yeah,
definitely
very good,
conservative.
I'll give you that.
And
we love that place.
That's fine, dude.
definitely. I mean, especially like the new owner Shendet. I mean, he was always really good to me.
Okay.
And I mean, I don't perform there anymore, but I love them. I got nothing but love for that place. I cannot say enough good things about them. And the food is delicious.
Oh, the food's great.
Drinks are amazing.
Yeah.
Would you do the show outside, or where would you do it in?
No, we would do it like in the little side room. And I remember like Vanessa. I mean, so here you've got this woman from the south side of Chicago, and she says, I remember just watching her, literally could see like the sweat forming on her, and she just worked her ass off at that show. And I think the audience saw that and appreciated it. And just, man, it was, I mean, I knew what she could do.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't, none of it surprised me.
Just amazing seeing it live.
But it's just fun. Yeah, but it's just so fun to see other people realizing it too.
Yeah.
It's a lot like, I imagine this is what priests and pastors and gurus must feel like when they convert someone to their religion.
Very similar, right? Very similar. That whole the whole show aspect of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who was that really famous comedian from the 80s who passed away?
Sam Kinison.
Sam Kinison. Yeah, he was a pastor.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and that magically kind of like took him into stand up.
Really?
And it was the same energy. It was very like Baptist, right? Something like that.
I'm pretty
it was
sure
like
Baptist,
like something.
It certainly sounded like a Baptist. Yeah.
And was it Southern Baptist? Yeah. Everything changed, right?
And after he sobered up too. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he just went shh, 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 shh. But
so you're basically the
yes, because God doesn't like quitters.
Yeah, basically.
That's because I mean, look at me, and I'm completely sober.
Yeah. Have you always been sober?
What's that?
Have you always been sober?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Not one drop of liquor ever?
I've tasted alcohol. I
Yeah.
mean, I know, but I've never had enough to be drunk. Just like,
You have one of these.
like.
That's
Okay.
yeah. But no, like I was saying, man. So you're basically the godfather of comedy in Rockford, because I don't see anybody else doing any type of comedy at all in the area.
Well, I mean, like Andrew and I, run some rooms. Nico Amoroso, Vicky Lynn. Well, I mean, Vicky Lynn lives in Beloit.
Well, the problem is that you're talking like you're in the scene.
Yeah.
And you're like, I've been in the scene
I
so
don't know.
long.
I feel like I'm in enough groups to kind of see other people, but no, I've only seen your name honestly pop up. Also, the people we've had on also have only mentioned you, no one else.
That's awesome.
To be fair, we've only had Latinos on.
That's true. That's true. You know what? Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, that's the one thing. We're like,
that makes a difference.
Right.
It's funny, like how many venues I'll go into and I'll give them my resume, talk to them, like, oh yeah, I've been thinking about doing a comedy night, blah blah. And we'll be going back and forth, emails and phone calls and everything. And then like a few months later, I see they got a comedy show going on, with a white producer with far less experience. Yeah, and it's like, oh, okay. And I want people to think like, oh, I'm like, trying to sneak this anyone in particular. And
mention them right now, dude. Mention them.
Was it? I mean,
throw them on the bus.
Yeah.
In some cases, some of them are my friends, and I'm happy for them. And I'm like, cool. I'm glad they got someone good to do it.
Yeah.
I'm glad they got someone good to do it. But it's just interesting when you see like, oh, here's how the bias plays out.
Yeah.
So let me change that. The Latino Godfather. You're the guy. You're who you are. Let's go to. Yeah.
You're the Padrino of.
Padrino Rockford.
Yeah.
I like that.
There you go.
Wait, so when it comes to getting the shows together, like, do you make money from the shows?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
So then you have the restaurant pay the comedians?
Yes.
Or how does it work?
Yeah. Generally, the venue will provide us with a budget. There's a few. I mean, if I already have an established relationship with the venue, then I'm willing to do a door deal. But like right now, the only one with whom I do a door deal is the Underground.
Okay.
And just the gentleman who runs that, Roni Golan, brilliant, brilliant artist. He's from Israel. And once again, and I've noticed like a lot of times, like the venues that'll give me a chance are run by by people of color, by immigrants. Once again, Greenfire, Shendet. Here you have a Muslim immigrant from France. Roni is from Israel, and I think I want to go through like each and every one, each and every venue.
No, go. No.
Yeah,
finish now. Yeah, no. I mean, that's how it is, man. I mean, we when we did our show, we did a show in Crystal Lake, right? For the comedy show, the first ever dating Insomnia hour, comedy hour. I forgot the name of the show. Yeah, but I mean, we put out like I wouldn't say a flyer, but like a notice. Yeah. Of like, hey, we're looking for comics to be on our part show because we didn't want a prominent Latino show. We wanted like everybody. Yeah. We wanted whites, blacks, Asians.
We want a mixture of everything.
Non-binary, whatever, right? Yeah, like we wanted a whole like aspect of comedy, right?
Yeah.
And nobody hit us up.
I never saw it. Where did you guys advertise that?
I posted it up on the one of the comedy pages.
The Chicago comedy scene.
Yeah. And
okay, no wonder. Okay,
I've had Asian lady hit us up. And that's about it. No one else. I'm like, wow.
Who was the Asian? Was it Jill?
I have no clue.
I don't know.
She have two bears.
Yeah.
Was it two bears?
Is that one?
She's never even asked to do my shows or anything. And
she said, "I got an hour and a half ready for you."
Yeah,
I've only seen her. I've only seen like her clips on Instagram, and they are hilarious.
Yeah. Well, that's what we did. We just asked for like anybody who's willing to do like a 50-minute set. Send us a video or whatever. And she was like, I'll do an hour.
Yeah, she did.
Like, hey, well,
all right, well, we gotta back up, right?
Back up. Let's go back to the 15-minute mark. Let's find out. But no, I mean, I don't think it was anything like racial or anything. I just think people don't know who we are. You know what I mean?
First of all, it's only one person.
It's like consciously, it probably wasn't. I don't think anyone. I don't think that there's anyone who said, "Well, I don't want to work with those people."
Yeah.
But subconsciously, it's like.
I feel like for me, like,
well, I don't speak Spanish. You might not like me.
I don't know. For some reason, when I posted this, I expected a whole bunch of people to just jump in.
Me too. I expected like people to jump on it, like
because it's 15 minutes to put yourself in front of a whole different new crowd.
Yeah, and not only that, but like a sold out crowd.
Yeah.
So it was it was like
what, awesome.
50, 60 people,
yeah, 60 people,
60 people, and I mean we were sold out. I mean, we tailored it so it would be perfect for comics to do their work. And I mean nobody jumped on it besides that one lady. Yeah. And I was expecting oh yeah, book me. Because that's what we see every time we we're part of the group, right? So we see people post up notices like, hey, we need Tanley or whatever. And people are like, oh, book me. I was like, well,
I don't know if it was too far or it's just like I feel like an opportunity is an opportunity.
Thing too, is a distance probably also.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean a lot of people will just people make assumptions.
Yeah. Do you have trouble booking for that reason too? Like being at Rockford and Chicago is like all the way out.
It's tricky. I mean, the worst thing is, now this is why I pretty much use the open mic as my main scouting tool. Or even when Andrew was running his open mic at Rockies, I would go out to that. Or if I had like some other friends running open mics, I'd go check that stuff out. Or if they had, I saw they booked someone that I didn't know, go check them out because. I would get so many people. It happened so many times. So within 24 hours of showtime, I would get a message or a phone call. It's like, oh man, I just realized that there's no train that runs out there.
Oh really?
It's like, didn't occur to you to Google the address before, before accepting the gig?
Yeah.
And it's frustrating, man. It's like it's a lot of people you need to hold their hand through the process.
Yeah.
And that I hate. I mean, like the easier look. If any comics are watching, you want to know how to get in. The easier you make it for the producer, the more you will get booked.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it makes sense.
I feel like it's not that hard though. This is the address. Google it. All right, cool. You know, I'm an hour away. I can make it happen. Hey, Marcos, I can make it happen. Cool, we're good.
Yeah.
Because when we reached out to people, I mean, we told them right away, like, this is where we at. Can you make it happen? Can you not make it happen?
Yeah.
Simple as that. Yeah. And of course, I mean, like I said,
I mean, we knew everybody that came on the show the first one. Yeah. So it was.
But even then, once again, it's the first thing. Like, hey, you okay with driving this? Okay, cool. We'll see you here then.
Yeah, because I mean, I go control. I mean, if you look at my advertisements, you'll see on the flyer, first thing you see on the flyer, biggest letters, it's the name of the venue. Then again, at the bottom, I have the name of the venue and the address. Yep. It's posted to the event invite that has the name of the venue and the address. And if you click on it, it gives you a map. So hey, it's like especially when I'm paying someone well, if I'm paying someone in the triple digits, and they send me they send me a message after I've already sent them the flyer,
directions,
the event invite, and they say, "Can you text me the address?" Do you not read? I mean, just
for sure.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe some people just think they're too cool to be excited. You know what I mean? Because it's one of those things where it's like, I mean, I don't know. If I would see my name on a flyer, I mean, I would assume it gets old after a while, but still pretty cool, right? Like, see your name on a flyer, be like, hey, I'm gonna be showcasing on this show, whatever the case is. I
mean, when I used to produce my own, like, because I used to be in the EDM scene, I used to produce my own shows. I mean, it's cool. Just you see your name on there.
Yeah.
You can't get old. I mean, it's like, dude, that's me. I'm doing this. I'm making this happen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I mean, going back to the too cool, an ego. They have an ego.
I don't even think it was an ego thing. I think people are so used to being spoon-fed information.
Yeah.
And I don't know. In some cases, I don't know. It's just like, I mean, you devote the rest of your life to this. But there's one thing, it's like, this is the part that's not clicking. And that's something that really affects the number of chances you get, the number of opportunities you get.
And then you said triple digits. They're getting paid triple digits. I mean, obviously, it's a headliner. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As a headliner, how do you not...
But that might be a little bit.
And I'm not saying that I pay all headline. I don't want to. I don't want like. There's a lot of shows where I haven't. I don't want like that. Those headlines be like. It's like, oh, this guy's full of it. He's never paid me. It's like, I didn't pay you triple digits. But and sometimes it's just a matter of what was available at that time and such. Like I mean,
I guess for me, it's opportunity. No matter if you're starting off from the bottom or you're at top. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, I had one time I had the opportunity. To pay Jen for a 10-minute set, what I'm lucky if I'm able to pay a headliner for another show, and I mean she earned every penny of it. I mean, make no mistake, she definitely earned every penny of it. But
yeah. Have you had a bad experience with any comics when you booked them? I mean, without saying their name,
of course. I mean, like I just said,
I mean, more in the sense of like, not like them canceling on you, but them actually being there and just being like. I don't want to say prima donnas, but like something along the lines of that.
Just wasn't vibing, or just wasn't.
Came in with the wrong attitude.
I never had anyone that just made me like hate the person.
Yeah.
But there have been some that just annoyed me, and I didn't like book them again for a year or something. And it's like, okay, it's like I'm like, well, I don't think he even realizes it, but he made some really annoying comments to my wife and one of my best friends, and I'm like, I don't want to deal with this guy for a year. And he's a sweet guy, But just, I think he's learned since then, and I don't think it was because of that experience. I think he's just,
for sure.
You live, you learn, and hopefully, me too. Hopefully, I'm becoming a smarter person with each day. But yeah, so but nothing, never anything made me just want to hate it. Made me hate a person,
blacklist them or anything like that.
Yeah, it was weird. One time I booked this one guy who I didn't realize had quit comedy for a while, and then was just coming back. So when I'd see him before, he was hilarious. And I booked him to feature at a show, and it was like, so he was doing like about a 20, 25-minute set. And it was just depressing and not funny. And it's just like, oh, wow, what happened here? But
so what do you do in an occasion like that? Do you just like,
I should have let him early. Yeah, I should have just let him early. I did. I just let him finish his time. And in the end, I don't think it hurt me any, I'm going and from a professional perspective, I should have let him early. Yeah. And when I say light, to flash the light that indicates it's time for him to wrap up the show. But I let him finish out his set, and hindsight being 20/20, I'm glad I did. it avoided some drama. I mean, that might have been like one of his, final. That probably was one of his last shows.
Oh, really?
So that might have been his last hurrah. In his mind, he probably did great. And
but I think anybody. I mean, and I have very little experience with stand up, but I think you do know when you're doing bad. Like I don't think anybody comes off the stage, you're like, oh, I killed it.
I saw one comment. It was so funny because he did this one joke, and I just saw the look of disgust on the producer's face. And that's what the crowd. I mean, it was generally a hot crowd in this room, but they weren't laughing that much during his set. And the producers had just had this look of disgust. There was this one joke that was just like, I couldn't believe he said it. And then after that, I'm like, so how did how do you like the other night's show? And he's like, oh man, I killed. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, that's right, you did.
Yeah.
Gotta be a little positive, right?
Where do you fall when it comes in the spectrum of comedy?
What's that?
Where do you fall when it comes to like what's funny and what's not funny? Do you think everything can be funny?
Yes, everything can be funny. I'm very ashamed at myself for some of the things that make me laugh. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of jokes that convey messages that I strongly oppose that will make me laugh.
Yeah.
So at your shows, I mean, you wouldn't never restrict anybody. Do what you want to do, but as long as you make it funny.
More or less. Yeah, I mean, if someone's like straight up has a hateful message in their comedy,
for sure.
I'm not gonna book that person, even if they're making the crowd laugh. If it's something, I mean, if it's like, hey, how about this is why such and such group deserves to die, and the crowd is laughing. No, I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna book that person. And in the event that someone did say something, here's the other thing: there are some things that are kind of like borderline. And where I may really oppose that message, but then and also, look, here's the other thing with diversity. I mean, diversity it's not just about skin color, it's not just about gender, it's not just about orientation, but it's also about ideas. And I think if you get too strict with just one mindset, you end up shutting out a lot of the other diversity too.
Yeah.
Then you also end up shutting out a lot of ethnic diversity. You end up shutting out. I think mostly ethnic, religious diversity and stuff. I mean, it's I mean, I would never like not book a comic because of his or her religion or such, and that way. But by that same token, if they express something that I don't necessarily believe, all right. I mean that's par for the course. If you truly embrace diversity.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, but once again, it depends to what degree. But when something is said, I'll say this: when something is said that clearly contradicts what I believe, since I host the shows that I produce, that's a great luxury I have. I can go up there and say why I disagree with it, or just pretty much that I disagree with it, and make a. I make a joke of it, so the crowd continues to laugh, and so that I'm not just. Wait, can we swear or not on the?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay. So that I'm not shitting, so I'm not shitting on that comic, and but at the same time, I'm making my point. It's like, okay, I understand you believe that, but I don't. Here's why, and this is why this group that you just said that shit about is a group that I embrace, and that I want to have. And really, this is their house. I mean,
have you had an incident like that?
There's definitely comics with whom I disagree, and one of my best friends, he and I have a lot of areas where we disagree, and we've had some very public, political and social disagreements, but we respect each other as human beings, and and I address it. When he says something on stage with which I disagree, I address it right away. It's like, okay. Here's why I disagree with that. And, you made your point and you made it funny, and now I'm making my point and I'm making it funny.
Yeah. I mean, that's one thing we've heard from other comics that there is a difference when it comes to the jokes you do here, like in the suburbs, and the jokes you do in the city. You know what I mean? Like you got to play more of a conservative route.
You think Belvedere is the suburbs?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I mean,
dude,
not as much.
What do you mean? Suburbs?
Suburbs? Suburbs.
Well, I consider. I mean, anything is not Rockford suburbs.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's like not a city. What do you? Are you gonna call it like
City
a
of
country,
Belvedere?
or what are you trying to say?
Honestly, Belvedere's. I mean, no, Belvedere. I mean, suburbs voted for Biden.
Yeah.
Belvedere, probably not so much. So.
No, well, that's what I'm trying to say. It's more conservative.
Yeah.
When it comes to the suburbs. Yeah.
It's definitely more considered. It's more. I'll say that, and it's not even make it political. I'll say this. I think Belvedere is more salt of the earth.
Yeah.
Than the suburbs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in a lot of ways, it's warmer than the suburb. In a lot of ways, I mean, there's some certain things that I love about Belvedere. There's certain things where I disagree. You know?
Yeah, but I wasn't even trying to get political with it. I'm trying to say more in the aspect of the reason I say it is because you had a show here probably a couple months ago.
3 months ago, I think.
And
with Oscar headlining.
With Oscar at Fire, right? What is it? Fire?
Short line. It was a Firebox.
Firebox,
Firebox.
Yeah.
Good and beautiful venue. Yeah.
Oscar, a lot of his jokes are Mexican heavy. They're very
he killed.
Yeah. So I was like, I wonder how he's gonna do
predominantly white crowd.
In a predominantly white crowd. Because I'm like, if he does the same comedy, is that gonna like translate over? And you were there. And you told me it worked.
He killed.
Yeah.
Hey, that's why they call him El Cuchillo.
Yeah.
He killed.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. Yeah. Because I was like,
I mean, Oscar is a smart guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean,
Oscar is definitely above average in intelligence. Definitely, he's definitely smarter than the average person. So he knows how to structure his comedy. Sure.
Yeah,
and he's a good comic. That's the other thing. He's
comic.
intelligent. He's a good comic. So he knows how to talk to the audience. The grand blessing that Oscar has, that thick ass accent that I don't know how he still has after living here
all his life,
30 years or whatever. I don't know how he made that. I will bet you that like when you get him behind closed doors, he probably sounds like Marco Rubio.
We had him here in the podcast. He speaks like a Southern belle. You know what I mean? No Mexican accent. It's only on camera. And,
but no, I mean that accent helps him so much. Because it makes him more disarming.
Yeah, he had this one joke without going too much into it, where it's like he does a Scottish accent.
Irish.
Yeah. And it's terrible.
Hilarious.
It's terrible. It's the worst.
You realize that's like calling a Mexican accent Puerto Rican.
Yeah. And I was like, being that it's so bad, it makes it so funny. Because the first time he did it, we were at a Zanies with him.
Yeah.
And it was like one of the first shows he did coming back when everything started opening up in COVID. And he does a joke and then he does the accent, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. I'm like, hope he doesn't change anything about that, because how bad it was made it extremely more hilarious.
But it's not that bad though.
It's terrible.
It's no.
It's pretty bad.
Look,
it's pretty bad.
It's no worse than an Anglo doing an Irish accent.
No, it's bad.
And I mean that in a literal sense of Anglo.
You don't remember too much? It was terrible. It was terrible.
It was hilarious, damn it.
It was hilarious.
Hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
It's no worse than any other American doing an Irish accent.
No, it's.
To me, it makes sense. There's just to me. I don't know. Maybe that's just my crazy mind, but that's how my twisted mind. Not so much crazy, but twisted.
No, I mean it's not the worst thing ever. But I'm saying it's perfect as it is. Like if you actually killed it and you started speaking like Conor McGregor, then I'm like, oh, it's not as funny. It's incredible to see it. Like I never seen a Mexican speak like that. But otherwise,
you mean beating up elderly people?
I mean, he probably does that too on his
spare time.
Uber
driver, beating up the elderly.
Be up the elderly at nighttime. But yeah, no, it's I was glad to hear that everything went smooth when it came to that.
Yeah. Do you know what was cool is I ran into this older white couple in Love's Park, like probably about a month ago.
We had a white couple too in Chris Lake. Yeah, white couples, man. Something about white couples.
And I asked him about, it was like, I ran into him at the laundromat of all places.
Yeah.
And I asked him, hey, because they've been to numerous shows. And I said, of all the shows you saw, who's your favorite comic? And he said, Oscar. Yeah, like, cool.
That's the thing you need. I mean, that's the best.
I mean, and we're talking about some other really good comics that they had seen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I bet he would love to hear that.
Oh, for sure.
Text him right
Oh
now.
yeah, I messaged him. I messaged him right away when I got home. I'm like, dude.
He's like, he goes, I was trying to do his accent, but I feel like I can do it. I just gotta hear him. I haven't heard him in a hot minute.
I know.
His accent is so distinct that even me trying to recreate it, I feel racist. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute, that's just like.
I
That's
feel
my
like
people, but it's still.
I can hear it. I just can't. I can't get it out of me. I can't get it out of you. I've been here too long, my whole life. But yeah, man. So what is your goal, man? Like when it comes to comedy and like in the future for
to keep doing it and keep eating off of it.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, I'm not. I know I'm definitely never going to get my own sitcom. That's not even a question. I mean, I would love to be.
Is that what you want? Ideally,
no.
like if like
no, I would. I mean, I wouldn't know. I mean, if someone, I mean, obviously, I would accept it. I mean, if NBC handed me $1 million check or whatever and said, "Here, you want to give you a sitcom?" Okay, I'll figure it out. For one thing, I mean, we're Latino. That's what we do. I mean, but two, and also. I mean, I would definitely see the opportunities. I mean, they would allow me to do more stand-up, but that's not my goal. Mm-hmm. I mean, like the few acting gigs that I did, I kind of fell into, and I enjoyed them.
And what were acting?
I did one for I already forgot the names. One was called Ultimate Survival Experiment. It was with Amaru. Directed that one. Amaro Lewis directed it. And that was fun. That was cool because it was like a real small role. Yeah. And actually, I got booked because my wife, I got cast. See, that's how much stand up I am. It's like I got cast because my wife got hired to do the costumes for the movie. And I said, well, if you need someone else, and it's like, because then she was already doing the costumes. Like, well, we need another woman to play this woman who beats her husband, and they're like, well,
you're like, lock me in.
Yeah. So then, so it's funny because like all this, my role is she beats me over the head with the frying pan, and I get knocked out, and I was sleepy, so I fell asleep. So when you see me being unconscious in the movie, I was unconscious in real life too.
Oh, really?
No, I just fell asleep.
Okay. I thought she really knocked you.
No.
That's good acting.
And this is a movie that you can find on like Netflix or something, or
you know what? I think it's on Amazon. I can watch it now.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, because my daughter's got Amazon, so I can watch it now. And the other movie, I forgot what it was called because it had a working title, and then like the real title was something else, and I was like the lead role in that movie. And it was funny because the character I played had an Irish name, so clearly this was something that was written for like an Irish guy. So they should have got an Oscar. That's what they should have got.
Oh, he would have killed it.
Yeah.
And
give him a kilt, bagpipes.
I think my name was
Scottish.
That's
Scottish. God damn it.
So like, I think it was something like, I can't remember that. It's like, I wish I could remember. It was a very Irish name. And
was it O'Malley or? What is it?
It was something. I think it might have been O'Rourke. I don't know, but it was funny, as I said, that it was interesting about it is here was, a Mexican pretending to be Irish as opposed to Beto O'Rourke, who was an Irish guy pretending to be Mexican.
Okay, now what does that sound familiar? Who's that?
He ran for president.
Oh, yeah, he was a guy from Texas.
Yeah.
No, but he wasn't stating he was Mexican. He just spoke Spanish.
Yeah, and called himself Beto.
Beto, yeah. His nickname was Beto, yeah.
I mean, that'd be like me calling myself Jamal. You know what I mean?
You mean Gamal?
Yeah. I go by Jamal sometimes.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
I go by Jamal, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My clients can't say Gamal, so they call me Jamal. I was like, hey.
Yeah, he's like, Jamal, what's up, Jamal?
Yeah.
Like, all right. I'll be your Jamal, whatever you want.
But how did you stumble into that lead role? You just like sign up somewhere?
You know what? There was a comedian.
I'm trying to be a lead role somewhere too. Shit.
There was a comedian. I think who was like from the Northeast. I think it was like from Portland. Either like Portland. Yeah, I think it was from Portland. It was another Latino dude, and he's worked all sorts of truck driver, and he was like passing through the Midwest, and I had a show up in Edgerton, Wisconsin. Like, hey man, can I do a guest spot on that show? I'm like, sure. So then this director that he knew was looking for an actor. He's like, "Do you know anyone out in the Beloit area?" And he recommended me. And it was funny. It was this guy who's like, so it's about this middle-aged guy who falls in love with this much younger black woman, and I think I can do that. And then it's funny because then my wife comes to pick me up. It is much younger black woman, and okay. So it's just kind of funny how that worked out.
Yeah.
It was like there were several real parallels to my real life in that character, and also he was I mean, I wish I could remember what the movie's called so I could plug it because
that's cool.
It was fun. Cool. It was fun. I really liked the premise of the movie and all, but I was just like, I still haven't watched it because I was just like that. I was afraid to watch myself because I'm not an actor by trade.
Well, I mean, it is awkward just in general watching yourself. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I always joke around on the podcast that like I do the editing and all that, right? So I have to hear my voice. I have to watch myself for hours. And you find all the ugly real quick. You know, you're like, oh, I look like that, huh?
Speaking, which I should also say that I keep referencing my Mexican heritage, but I'm also Bolivian. So in case it's like people are like, why is he so much tinier than that guy? You know?
Well, this guy's not Mexican. I haven't seen any paperwork yet to lock that in.
If you haven't seen the paperwork, then wouldn't that indicate that he is Mexican?
Ooh.
Well, I mean, have you not heard of terrorism?
He's Hondureño. There you go. Yeah.
Right.
There's a lot of guys that got in without any paperwork. Yeah. So movies and then stand-up specials, anything like that in the future?
I recorded an album. I sold a few copies of it, and it was totally, DIY. Mm-hmm. So when I ran out of copies, this didn't print up anymore. But I probably will eventually. I think when I do the next album, then I'll print up some more copies of that one. And I don't even know if I will do another album now because I had this great concept right before the pandemic, and I had it pretty much written out. I was just kind of ironing out the details and trying to figure out where I would record it. And I was planning to call it Rock and Roll Savage. Okay. And it was going to be all about, I'm a big music nerd. Yeah. Yeah, as you can guess from the Springsteen conversation. Mm-hmm. So it was, so every track was going to be a song. It was going to be a song title from a musician that I like. Like I had one of the bits was called Policy of Truth. It's an homage to Depeche Mode. And although I didn't mention Depeche Mode at all. Mm-hmm. But it tied into him a few ways, and it was really just using rock music and really music in general is kind of a metaphor for ethnic relations in America, and so I am still talking about racism, but now doing it more from very personal perspective and from personal experience, and but yeah, then the pandemic happened. Some stuff that I had written for that. I mean, some of it that was supposed to be punchlines wound up becoming realities, and then other things were okay, this is kind of out of date now. It's a bit dated. It might not be completely out of date, but it feels a bit dated, and
that's cool.
And
that's different. I like that.
Yeah, and while the first album was very much kind of a similar thing, not really planned that way, but a similar thing with superheroes. Then the second one was more with my other fandom, with rock and roll, and I also have some hip hop references in there too, because I love hip hop too. But I really think of hip hop as just another genre of rock and roll. Okay.
I mean, it goes in a Rock Hall of Fame, doesn't it?
Of course.
Yeah.
Fuck Gene Simmons.
Yeah. He's a legend now.
He is, no doubt. He is definitely a legend. Definitely, he is the God of Thunder, but he's also,
No, that's Thor. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
There's only one God of Thunder. That's Thor. Right?
Yeah. But then that was so funny, and I had a bit about this. Here's a great example of a dated bit that at this point is just an observation. A lot of jokes start as observations, and then when they're topical jokes, after a while, then when they're past their sell-by date, then it's an observation again. Yeah. And Gene Simmons, was mad that NWA got inducted into Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He's like, these guys don't play instruments, they don't write their own music, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, what's the last solo album Gene Simmons did? And it was called Asshole. And if you look at the credits on it, Gene didn't play any instruments. So all he was just provide the vocals, like NWA did. And actually, in Dr. Dre, I'm pretty sure plays keyboard, if I'm not mistaken.
He started.
So
well, he's a producer, right? He started.
He's definitely a producer.
So he's playing with different instruments and sounds to make the beats. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And also, I'm not sure that Gene Simmons wrote all the music on that album either. Because if you look at the writing credits, there's a whole lot of writers.
Yeah.
So for him to criticize NWA, it's like, dude, then you don't belong to
NWA was a team, though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Ice Cube was writing. Eazy-E was the one basically the main guy.
No, he was like the hype. He was like the hype man.
Yeah, the hype man.
But
Eazy-E was. He was the lead rapper.
He was the lead rapper.
But he was, as he concedes, Ice Cube writes the rhymes that I say.
And then Dr. Dre was the producer. And then who else was in the NWA?
Yella.
Yella, yeah. Also a writer, right?
What's that?
Yella was also a writer, too, right?
Yeah. Yella was a producer more than anything.
Oh, Yella's producer.
So even if Yella makes it a cappella.
Yeah.
And then I believe, wasn't 8 in there, too? MC8?
MC8.
And on the first album, they also had a Latino member, and I can't remember who he...
Really?
Oh, really? I can't remember his name.
He was not in the movie. We'll tell that right now.
No.
He got cut.
He wasn't in the movie. What? Yeah. Didn't have enough money for him? Come on, now.
He probably would have worked for half the amount.
They were like, we're gonna keep this all black.
Wow.
No, I don't even just.
NWA, yes. It stands for that.
I mean, the movies in California, there's not one Mexican in the whole movie.
And Compton, Compton is like is a heavily Latino neighborhood,
especially now, right?
It's funny because like now when you think about nowadays, like a lot of music coming out of Compton is Latino punk rock.
Yeah. I mean, it's the whole. I mean, just the whole Latino scene over there compared to over here.
It's different.
It's different.
Yeah.
Like we're all like more like separated in it, and like California, like it's all right there.
Yeah.
Just right there in the
one area.
But dude, thank you for coming, man.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. I think we're at an hour, right? 104. Look, I timed it perfectly. Yeah.
Can I say this? I want to finish off one last thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
How do you want to finish off 2021? Especially after 2020, we all lost a year. How do you want to finish off 2021?
Wait, I have another question. How do you want to finish that sentence?
Yeah, I know. I agree. Hold on. A couple drinks with me. No. But how do you want to finish 21?
Man, I just to paraphrase Andre 3000, I want to be alive.
Okay.
Yeah, and I just want to be alive in comedy. I want to keep, hopefully, just with a lot more, just headlining a lot more shows. Ideally, I mean, I enjoy producing and hosting my own shows, but for those who want to book me to headline, really for those who just want to book me. Period. I just want to I want to come out and do your show.
You're not gonna say no to an opportunity.
Well, say what depends on
the opportunity.
Depends. But
I'll say no to exploitation. Okay. But for the most part, it's very rare that I say no. I see most shows, most opportunities as being, mutually beneficial. Mm-hmm. So I just want to keep doing more shows on. You know what? I'll tell you what. Actually, I've got a really good answer for that. And one thing I've been talking to my wife about, and my wife's family on her mom's side, the Henson family of Mississippi. And if you watch the Netflix documentary "Life of Riley" about B.B. King, her family's in that because B.B. King came up, went to school, worshipped at Elkhorn Primitive Baptist Church in Kilmichael, Mississippi, and that church and school, it was a one-room schoolhouse, were founded by my great-grandfather-in-law, Cyrus Henson, who was a freed slave.
Oh, wow.
And so that was the first thing he did. So that's why, education's been very important in my family and also in my wife's family. And so education and spirituality. And what I really want to do, it's like in November, usually the whole family comes together at that church. And I would love to do like some kind of I perform poetry out at the church, but I would love to do a comedic performance at the schoolhouse, and just have the family there. So much. I mean, a lot of my comedy is about family. It's about my wife. It's about my parents, and it's I think it would fit. I think it's ideally that's what I would love to do. Okay. And I keep telling my wife, is like, talk to your family about this. And like at first she was like trying to find me gigs in Mississippi, like at bars in Mississippi. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, why not just do this? If they like my poetry, my comedy addresses the same issues as my poetry. Mm-hmm. So let's do that. So ideal. I don't know if it's going to happen or not. I mean, right now it's kind of been an idea we've been throwing around, and just with, I mean, these past 2 years have just thrown us so many curveballs. Yeah. That if we could do that, is ideally, I would love to finish up, 2021, late November. That's what I would like to do. But in the meantime, I got a show coming up September 3rd at Ashling on the Lock. An Irish venue. I keep going back to the Irish. Man, I should have suggested Oscar for this gig instead of me.
Right. I mean,
but it's going to be it's going to be all performers from the Renaissance Fair are going to be doing stand-up comedy. So it's going to be 5 of us. So we're going to be doing stand-up comedy at Ashling on the Lock in Kenosha.
Okay.
And I hope people come check it out.
Yeah, definitely. What's the date on that again?
It is September 3rd at 8 p.m.
September 3rd, 8 p.m.
Doors open at 7:30, 7 o'clock.
Well, I mean, it's doors open whenever the bar opens. Okay. So probably like I don't know what time the bar opens.
For sure.
Probably, I would assume it's like one of those bars. I mean, what time do most bars open?
I mean, really,
every time.
Yeah. You got more questions?
No, that's good.
Any more questions, man? I'm kidding. But yeah, like I said, we appreciate you coming out for the podcast, man.
It's a pleasure.
Like I said, we've known you for a minute, so it was definitely we had the Rockford legend coming through.
Padrino
come.
And also, I mean, what a great honor. It's always such a great honor to see Latinos creating platforms, and to get to and to get to be a guest on that platform is just. It's a beautiful thing.
It is, man.
Because so often you see the media trying to beat us down. We see establishments trying to shut us out. So it's a beautiful thing when we can get together, build and great. Whatever, this is like our version of Wakanda. There you go.
Because all we got is Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you for coming on, man. Tell the people where they can find you, your Instagram handles, Facebook.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Facebook is facebook.com/comedianfreak. And no, my professional name is still Marcos, but it's almost kind of like an inside joke with the whole comedian freak thing. And on Instagram, instagram.com/free.ki, patreon.com/FREAQUI, and if you want to guys post this, I'll probably just post and then the links underneath.
If they want to find you on YouTube,
on YouTube, I'm on youtube.com/comedianfreak. And so I mean, if you want to watch longer clips, like I said, I got my Patreon. But if you want to just go straight to my YouTube channel, I got a bunch of short clips, mostly stand up, so a few other goofy things in there. I think the last video I posted was responding to celebrities telling us about what coverings we should or shouldn't be wearing. So
yeah, awesome.
So check that out. Yeah, if you haven't already, I posted it on Instagram too. Have you guys seen it?
I don't think I have.
You would know it if you saw it. I think
Oh wait, I did see it. You did an accent.
Yeah,
I did see it. Yeah.
Was it as bad as Oscar's?
Oh, no, it was good. It was actually good. I was like, oh, that's pretty good.
It's funny because it's not that far off from my normal speaking voice. Yeah. I mean, once again, growing up in Rockford, you get a certain twang.
You get a little bit of that rock tan.
You get a certain twang, and I just played it up a little bit. And I said to my wife, "It's like, should I have maybe am I playing up the twang a little too much? Should I tone it down?" She said to me, "If you tone it down, you're just going to sound nerdy."
No, it was good. It sounded good. But obviously we'll put up put up all your links on our YouTube when it comes to the video.
Oh, and my OnlyFans now that it's been restored. No, I'm kidding. That's such a hack joke. I can't believe we're gonna finish on this hack joke. So
He's like, I'm bad, guys.
Yeah. So my flat earthers profile. No.
Gamal, tell the people
Guys, we're on YouTube, Daily Insomnia, of course. Check out our mixology videos, our highlight videos from every month, and of course, check out the old episodes. This episode should be up and running. Today's Wednesday, so by Friday, right?
Yeah.
So this episode should be up by Friday.
Audio Thursday, Video Friday.
Yeah, Video Friday. We're at every podcast station possible. Podbean, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Spreaker, Spotify. I mean, we're completely everywhere. Of course, you guys can follow me on Instagram, Big G the Jeweler.
That's it? No, that's the only one you promote?
That's the only one I promote.
Okay. And like always, guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. This is Daily Insomnia. Signing off.
Peace out, y'all.
Hey guys, Ramon from Daily Insomnia. Thank you for watching our video. Make sure to hit the subscribe button right here. Watch our mixology videos up here. And if you want to see our latest episode, it's right here. Like always, guys, this is Daily Insomnia. Sign off.